Thank you all for coming. Before I say a few things for the Finance Committee, I'm going to introduce my colleagues and thank them for being here so that they can come up immediately after each other without my introducing them. We have Chairman Risch of the Foreign Relations Committee here, Chairman Wicker of Commerce, and Chairman Barrasso of Environment, EPW. We're here because the Senate Finance Committee has voted our USMCA out of committee 25-3, a very strong bipartisan vote. We expect the same bipartisan vote on the floor of the United States Senate when it gets up there. Under a parliamentarian's decision, it was referred to several other committees. These committees are, you're going to hear from some of those chairmen, but in the meantime, it takes just a short period of time for them to do what they have to do on it to get it moving. But I do not see that as an impediment to getting USMCA passed. And the only unknown thing is whether we're in impeachment or otherwise. The USMCA is very good for agriculture. My state of Iowa, #1 in the production of eggs as an example, or the wheat growing states in the Midwest. We've never been able to get our dairy products, our poultry, our eggs, and our wheat into Canada under NAFTA, and this is a big opportunity for that. We also have overall from the International Trade Commission statistics that it's going to create 176,000 jobs, $65 billion of investment in the United States, $34 billion of that just in the automobile industry as an example, and it's going to increase the gross domestic product somewhere between 10 and 15%. So this is something that's very good from an economic standpoint for agriculture, small business, and manufacturing. So I hope it's something that we can get to the president very soon, and you know what those questions are. But right now we'll hear from the chairman of the committee. So Chairman Risch.
Thanks much. For my state, for Idaho, obviously this is important, but it's important for every state. Clearly the things that we have in here are bringing the NAFTA up to standards, up to today's world, and now it's USMCA. It's a good thing. It's been around too long. It's ready to be acted on. On our committee, I've noticed up our hearing, we have a markup for a week from today on Thursday. We will mark it up at that time. For those of you who delight in reporting that nothing bipartisan ever gets done around here, I'm unhappy to inform you that this is bipartisan. It will be voted on in a bipartisan basis and excitedly supported by people on both sides of the aisle. This is a good thing for America. It needs to get done. Thank you all for coming today.
What else can be said? This is a win for bipartisanship. This is a win for American workers, American small businesses. In the United States, we like to manufacture things and sell them all over the world. We only have 5% of the world's population. We benefit when we can sell things that we manufacture to the 95% of the world's population who do not live in the United States of America. The same is for our farm workers and agribusiness people in states like Mississippi and the other states represented at the podium today. We like to grow things, and we enjoy the fact that when you've got a good trade agreement, we sell twice as many of our goods and products to those countries as we do to the rest of the world. So this update of NAFTA, this bipartisan achievement of USMCA is good for America, it's good for workers, it's good for agriculture to the tune of $2.2 billion. We only have a small part of USMCA in the Commerce Committee, but the parliamentarian has required that we report it. We're going to do so on an expedited basis and on a bipartisan basis, and that will be part of the quick response next week to moving this along toward reality.
By any measure, the economy in our country is strong, healthy, and growing, and trade contributes significantly to that. If you really want to jumpstart an economy, you cut taxes, which Republicans have done. You get rid of punishing regulations, which the President and Republicans have done, and you unleash trade. And we're just going to see that with USMCA, the Environment and Public Works Committee, which I chair, will be approving it at a business meeting on Tuesday. It will be a strong bipartisan vote. The trade's certainly very important for Wyoming. Talked here about agriculture products, beef, our #1 cash crop, also energy exports that we have, Trona as well. And I would say it's not just USMCA. It's so many of the things that we've been doing along the lines of trade. The Japan-American Trade Agreement was signed on January 1st. And then on the 15th of this month, representatives of China will be here to sign Phase 1 of the China Trade Agreement. All of this is going to continue to contribute to the economy, where there is incredible amounts of confidence in the economy today. Unemployment rates are way down. Wages are up. There is a level of consumer confidence that we haven't seen in a long, long time. We have a strong, healthy, growing economy, and USMCA is going to continue to add to that.
So you can see that the Senate's not going to dilly-dally around while we're waiting to see what Speaker Pelosi wants to do on impeachment. And these committees are going to act very quickly next week. And so whenever the leader decides to bring this up, we'll be ready to go. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Senator. Based on what you said, that this is now in the leaders' domain, what is your best estimate now on timing for floor action, given the uncertainty of impeachment and given the fact that the parliamentarian says you now have to take these additional committee actions? Your question
kind of answers itself, the uncertainty of it. We don't know. But we do know this, that when these committees are done with this, there are 2 privilege motions before the Senate. USMCA is one of them. One privilege motion takes 10 hours. The other privilege motion takes 20 hours, so that we know that except for us being in court of impeachment, that we're going to be able to move on this very quickly. Yes, ma'am.
So when will the committee actions be completed?
If I'm,
Next Thursday morning, I think I'm the last.
yeah.
We have the longest notification.
January 14th for budget, EPA, Commerce and Help, January the 15th. And the only committee that I don't know that whether it's been noticed or not, so I can't give you a date, is appropriations. But I don't have any reason to believe that there's any problems with appropriations either. Go ahead.
Can it be voted on next week? Is that still possible? The end of next week?
If Thursday comes, you better ask that question of the parliamentarian or the leader, because I would guess that with one committee finishing on Thursday, that it wouldn't be possible to get it done next week. Go ahead.
Is there concern under Trade Promotion Authority that we're going to run out of time? The 15 days will pass. Is that something that
No,
might
that's
happen
not.
if impeachment comes?
No, that's not a problem. No problem there.
And do all committees need to approve it in order for USMCA to advance to a full Senate vote?
These committees will have to finish their action before you get to a full Senate vote. But once it gets to the Senate, there's 20 hours of debate, equally divided. I doubt if all that will be used. And then we vote on it, and it takes just 51 votes, or if there's less than 100 senators there, a majority of the senators that are there.
Okay, and second question, why wasn't the Agriculture Committee involved? One could argue that there are several elements in the deal that impact the agriculture sector.
You'll have to ask the parliamentarian. In fact, it was a complete surprise to all of us here, I'm sure, that the parliamentarian said it should go to 7 committees as opposed to just the Finance Committee. Yeah.
Can you talk about why you think TPA won't be an issue, especially if there's an impeachment trial that could pop up?
I didn't understand your question.
You said you're not concerned that the time limit on TPA would expire by
No.
the time the Senate gets a chance to vote on this? Why is that not a
Well, I've just been assured by those that are experts on TPA that it won't be. I don't have any more than I can give you those experts if you want them, and then you can ask them. So you go to my trade staff.
Are you confident that despite the changes that the Democrats made and Richard Trump weighed in on, that the president will not suddenly say, this isn't my bill, I want to sign it?
No, none
Have you heard that from
whatsoever.
Have you heard a guarantee from the White House that it will be signed?
I heard this from people that are close to the White House and in the White House at the time that our bill was voted out of committee, and certain people received notice of that the president was very happy. Yes.
Do we know that Foreign Affairs is the last, that appropriations will be sometime before Thursday?
I don't know that for sure, but I'll bet I can get an answer for you pretty soon, but I can't now. Okay, thank you.
Just one last question on Canada. Do you know if there have been talks between the administration and Canada about how quickly it would ratify?
They convene on January the 27th, and it's my understanding that they'll be ready to move soon after their convening of their new parliament.
Senator Grassley, just one other question. Is there precedent for having these other committees needing to review a trade agreement? Well, what is the rationale for the parliamentarian adding these requirements?
I think, I think the parliamentarian's kind of like God. And if they say something's got to be done, it's done. I mean, and great respect for the position. Okay? Thank you.